So in our previous two lessons we've been using the equation the amount of energy transferred is equal to the power of the appliance being used multiplied by the amount of time it's been used for. And we used two sets of units for this. If we wanted to work out the energy in joules, you had to have the power in watts and the time in seconds. And then we went on to look at, however, if it comes to things like electricity bills, the numbers, if you use joules, watts and seconds, become quite big and difficult to use. So instead, we work out the energy in kilowatt hours. But to do that, we need to have the power in kilowatts and the time in hours. And your last two lessons we're practicing, first one using this equation, second one using it with these units instead. So the next stage is, once we have worked out how much energy we have used in kilowatt hours, I went on to say that that is also sometimes called a unit of energy by the electricity companies, and it's that they charge you for. So the next step is just going, right, when you get your electricity bill, they need to work out how much you need to pay. So the cost, in other words, how much you need to pay, is simply equal to the amount of energy you transferred multiplied by what they charge you, the price per kilowatt hour. So first step is you use the first equation to work out how much energy you have transferred. So that would be in kilowatt hours. And then the second step is you look on your electricity bill and see how much they charge you for each kilowatt hour. So that would be in, usually it's in pence per kilowatt hour. And then you multiply those together and that leaves you a price or a cost in pence. So we'll do an example just below. So, quick example. Let's have a toaster which has a power rating of 2 kilowatts, and during a month it's used for a total of 3 hours in a month. People have a lot of toast. And let's say the electricity company, they charge 12 pence per unit, or 12 pence per kilowatt hour. So how do we go about working out the cost of running this toaster? So step one, we work out the energy, which is power multiplied by time. And again, thinking about the units, we want the energy in kilowatt hours. So our power's got to be in kilowatts and our time's got to be in hours. Luckily, in this question, we're already in kilowatts and we're already in hours, so that makes life a lot easier. So we have 2 kilowatts multiplied by 3 hours, which means 3 times 2 is 6. We've used, or that toaster has used, 6 kilowatt hours during that month. So that's the same as you've done before. Step 2, we now need to work out the cost. So the cost is equal to the amount of energy used multiplied by the price. And again, thinking carefully about the units, if the energy needs to be in kilowatt hours and the price needs to be in pence per kilowatt hour, we've already worked out the energy in kilowatt hours, no problem, and here is the cost or the price, pence per kilowatt hour. So this just becomes the 6 kilowatt hours we had from before, which we just worked out, multiplied by the 12 pence per kilowatt hour, and we multiply those two together, and that equals 72 pence. So that toaster used for all those pieces of toast has cost a total of 72 pence. The only thing to watch out for is if you go over 100 pence, they usually want you to convert it into pounds and pence. So for an example, if you ended up with an answer which was 203 pence, they would probably want you to put that as £2 and 3. As long as it's obvious what you mean, then it's not a problem. Just be careful with your conversions. People sometimes make daft mistakes here. Okay, and so this is the activity we're going to be going on to. I'm just going to talk through the first two for you, just so you've got it as an example and can see what it is that you need to do. So let's look at the first row, Sophie. So she's got here 2 meter readings. So the meter readings are from the electricity meter, some are digital, some are the old dial style. They tell you how many units you've used, so they measure how many units or kilowatt hours have gone through the meter into the property. So this one here, previous reading was 00100, and then the recent reading she's taken is 00300. So to find out how many units have been used in that period of time, you take the most recent reading and minus or take away the previous reading. So 300 minus 100 equals the 200. The company she's with charge her 11 pence per kilowatt hour. So 11 pence here multiplied by the 200 units you've used equals £22. If you were to put that just in pence, this would be 2,200 pence, but as you can see, they want it in pounds and pence. So let's have a look at Arthur's next. So he's got a previous reading of 53,000 and a recent reading of 53,456. So this number minus that number leaves 456 units. That's how many units he's used. He's been charged £91.20 for this, so we need to use the cost equals energy multiplied by price equation and rearrange it. So what we've got here is if cost equals energy multiplied by price, and we're trying to work out the price, then we'll rearrange that. Price is going to equal the cost divided by how much energy has been used. So in order to calculate this missing gap here, we're going to take this cost that he's been charged, so £91.20. However, we need to turn that just into pence. So £91.20 times that by 100 to get it just as pence. This is 9,120 pence. Divide that by the 456 units that he has used, and that gives us an answer of 20. So therefore, he must have been charged 20 pence per kilowatt hour. So in all of these questions, you're just using the difference between these values to work out how much energy has been used, and then you're using the cost equals the energy multiplied by the price equation to work out these ones here. I know some of you like the equation triangle version, so I'll put that to the side here. So you've got the cost, or how much they're charging you, the charge. In fact, I'll call that charge so it matches. The charge is going to be equal to the amount of energy that's been used multiplied by the price per kilowatt hour. If I put that into the equation triangle, and as you can see now, so the cost or the charge is equal to, so the charge calculator, you take the energy, the amount of energy used in kilowatt hours, and multiply that by the price, or the price per unit. If you need to work out how much energy has been used, you can take the charge or cost and divide that by the price per unit. And then finally, if you need to work out the price per unit, you can take the charge or cost in total and divide that by the total amount of energy.